We wait for other people to change in order that we might then be the person that we are called to be. But that's not the message of Jesus. The message of Jesus is it's God's time to act now. And the presence of God will only act now if we divest ourselves of the baggage that we carry around in our lives and our bodies and actually be the hands and the feet and the heart and the life and the mouthpiece of Jesus Christ in this world. It's the only way it's going to happen. It's the only way it's going to happen is to make it real now. Good news. Release of the captives. How many of us are captive to something in our lives? Oh, come on. Captive to something in our lives. Captive to other people's opinions. I don't know about you, but other people's opinions bear a huge debt in my own life. I like to be liked. I don't think I'm the only one. I like to be liked. I don't like to be seen as a hard bitch. And I know some of you think I am. Like to be liked. I like to be able to get on with everybody. I like to be able to do things that everyone approves of. But you know, I figured out it doesn't happen. There are some people who like me and some people who don't. There are some people who agree with what I do and there's some people who don't. But the fact is that if I truly believe that God has called me to this purpose, to this presence, to this church, to this people, it really doesn't matter what other people think. It only matters that I stay focused and centered on my relationship with Jesus Christ, who proclaims the release of captives and the day of good news. It's not easy, but it's true. And how many of us are holding back from our fullest potential, or holding back from our fullest calling, or holding back from our spiritual connection with God because we're waiting for somebody else to approve us, or we're waiting for somebody else to do something in order that we can claim our own power of now, the power of the present moment? What are you holding on to? What is it that is twisting your spirit? What is it that you are captive of this morning? That Jesus is saying to us, today is the day to act. Today is the day to get out of that place. Today is the day to put that behind you and to step into your fullness, to step into your holiness. What is it that you are holding on to? You know, we've talked about things in our church over the last few weeks about how we build altars to our victimness. Some of us like to be a victim. I know I can step into that role every now and again. We're not alone. All of us do it, I'm sure. But Jesus doesn't want us to be a victim. Jesus wants us to be a conqueror, an overcomer of the things that hold us, the things that bind us, the things that enslave us. You know, Jesus wasn't just talking about the Israelites who were in Babylonian captivity or to the Israelites who found themselves under Roman rule at that time. He was talking to their very personhood about how they were allowing other people to make decisions for them instead of claiming their own presence and their own power. He was telling them to get over their cheap selves. If we could put that into contemporary language today. Perhaps Eugene Patterson would do a good job as he did with the Message. But to be able to get through, to break out of some of the things that just hold us back. And the fact of the matter is that so many things hold us back. Low self-esteem. That's a big one in our community. It's a huge one in our community. People battering us up and down and back and front. People calling us names. People saying that we don't have a right to exist. People criticizing us. You know, we can't live in the real world without all of these things. And it's hard to keep centered and to keep focused and to keep our energy and to keep our positiveness. It's hard. But the good news of Jesus that today we can claim freedom. Today we can claim release from those things that hold us back, those things that pin us down, those things that damage us. If there was a magic wand that I could wave over our church this morning, it would be to send the fairy dust upon every single one of us, to give us a good dose of self-esteem, and to help us to see ourselves as God sees us, rather than how the world might see us or perceive us to be. I've said this before, but I wish sometimes we could hold a mirror up in front of ourselves, and instead of seeing our reflection as we've perceived it to be, we could see the reflection that God sees. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? But to see ourselves as God sees us. I truly believe that we are more powerful than we've ever believed whole lives. Powerful. We have the power to change things. And I'm not talking about politicians. I'm not talking about the way people perceive us. I'm talking about the power just to change ourselves. The power to change who we are. Because if we wait for other people to do it for us, we're going to be waiting until we're in a big grave somewhere, and we're dead for a long time, sisters and brothers. And if you're waiting until you die to get glory, you may as well forget today. But the power of now, the power to bring peace. I truly believe that peace begins with you and me. Why are we waiting for our politicians to create peace in the world? God, it would be a wonderful thing if we could create peace just amongst brothers and sisters in the living Christ. But we're finding a hard time doing that. How can we expect the world to have peace when we can't even create peace amongst sister and brother? I mean, come on. Let's wake up. I would say smell the coffee, but we don't have coffee today. We need to wake up. This is God's day to act. And if you don't want God to act in your lives, then God's not going to. The God that we believe in is not a God who forces God upon us. The God we believe in is a God who waits for our invitation to open our hearts and our lives to that power. What would it be truly like if we were truly set free this morning? What would it be like if the things that are burdening you this morning, the things that have held you back, the things that have held you down, what would it be like if you were truly set free this morning? What's it truly like for me that I'm set free from a dais this morning and a pulpit, and I get the opportunity to walk the aisle this morning? How different that is for me. What a great experience that is for me to be set free from the place where I usually stand. Set free. What do you want to be set free from? What is it? What is it that you're holding on to and not letting go of? It's God's day to act. Isn't that why we came here this morning? Or perhaps we just came to see what the decoration looked like in our church building. It's a good reason.